The barbed wire tore into Liam's palm like a lover's betrayal, drawing blood that dripped onto the sun-baked sand of the Sonoran desert. But he couldn't stop, because stopping meant going back to the man who'd called him an abomination and slammed the door on his own blood. "You think you're a man now, crossing into Gringo land like some fairy with wings?" His father's voice echoed in his skull, slurred with tequila and hate, the last words hurled like stones from the porch of their crumbling hacienda in Tijuana. Liam vaulted the fence anyway, heart pounding a war drum against his ribs, whispering to the empty dawn, "I'm not your son anymore. I'm free." Dust devils swirled around his boots as he stumbled forward, the weight of his backpack, stuffed with nothing but a crumpled photo of his mother, a half-empty water bottle, and dreams he'd buried too deep to name, pulling him toward the promise of America. He'd planned this for months, ever since the night his father caught him kissing Marco behind the tamale stand, the air thick with the scent of corn husks and forbidden sweat. Marco had bolted like a jackrabbit, leaving Liam to face the storm alone. Fists, screams. The Bible thumped against the table like a gavel sentencing him to hell. "You're no son of mine," Papa had roared, eyes wild with the same fear that had poisoned his own youth. Liam had packed that night, the border calling like a siren song. Freedom on the other side, or at least the illusion of it. The desert was merciless, a vast oven that baked regret into every step. By midday, the sun clawed at his skin, turning his faded blue jeans into a sauna and his white tank top translucent with sweat. He rationed sips from his bottle, each one tasting like defeat, but the map in his head, smuggled from a coyote's whisper in a back-alley cantina, kept him oriented north. Nogales, Arizona. That's where the whispers said the queers gathered. Safe houses tucked in the shadows of strip malls and saguaro cacti, places where a boy like him could breathe without apology. Liam was 19, wiry from years of hauling crates at the market, his dark hair matted under a backward baseball cap emblazoned with a Dodgers logo he'd never seen in person. His eyes, the color of agave tequila, scanned the horizon for border patrol shadows, but all he saw were mirages of what might be. A job washing dishes, a room that smelled like opportunity instead of machismo, maybe even a hand to hold that wouldn't pull away. Thirst clawed deeper than fear as the afternoon bled into a haze. He collapsed against a boulder, chest heaving, and pulled out the photo, his mother, smiling in a polka-dot dress, her arms around a younger him before cancer stole her light and left him to his father's rage. "Mama," he murmured, tracing her face. "I have to try." The wind carried his words away, mocking him with silence. Hours blurred. He hallucinated voices, laughter in Spanish that twisted into English taunts. "Wetback Fairy," they jeered in his mind. He pushed on, legs leaden, until twilight painted the sky in bruised purples and the faint glow of highway lights flickered like distant stars. That's when he saw the truck, a battered Ford pickup, rust-eaten and proud, idling on a dirt access road just beyond the official crossing point. The driver, silhouetted against the headlights, stepped out, tall, broad-shouldered, maybe 50, with salt and pepper hair cropped military short and a flannel shirt rolled to elbows that revealed forearms like twisted rebar. He held a flashlight, sweeping it lazily across the scrub, but his eyes, sharp blue, weathered by something deeper than years, locked on Liam before the beam did. "You lost, kid," the man called, voice gravelly with a drawl that screamed heartland America, not the border's edge. Liam froze, instincts screaming trap, coyote, cop, worse. But his body betrayed him, crumpling to his knees as dehydration won. The man approached slow, like taming a spooked colt, hands open. Easy now. Ain't here to hurt ya. Close. He smelled of coffee and engine oil, a far cry from tequila and despair. He knelt, offering the flashlight like a truce. Name's Lucas. You got a name? Or should I just call you trespasser? Liam, he rasped, throat a desert in itself. Lucas nodded, no judgment in the tilt of his head, and hauled him up with effortless strength, slinging Liam's arm over his shoulder. Come on, son. Got water in the cab. And a story, I reckon, that beats dying out here. The truck's AC blasted like salvation as they peeled onto the highway, I-10 stretching east like a vein pumping life into the unknown. Liam gulped from a thermos, the water cold and clean, chasing the grit from his soul. Lucas didn't pry at first, just drove with one hand on the wheel, radio humming low with Merle Haggard ballads about ramblin' men. But the silence cracked eventually, Liam's confession spilling out in halting Spanglish. The kiss, the rejection, the border as his only bridge to himself. He said I was cursed, dead to him. So I came out. For real. Lucas's jaw tightened, knuckles whitening on the gearshift. Coming out ain't just words, kid. It's a goddamn exodus. He glanced over, eyes softening. My boy, well, he tried that once. Too young, too scared. Didn't make it. The words hung heavy, a ghost in the cab. Liam didn't press. Some pains were barbed wire of their own. Instead, Lucas veered off at a roadside diner in Benson, a neon oasis called the Rattlesnake Grill, where semis loomed like guardians and waitresses poured coffee like therapy. Over greasy burgers and fries that tasted like heaven's grease trap, Lucas unfolded his own map, not paper, but scars. Ex-Marine, Vietnam vet with a Purple Heart and a divorce that left him hollow, raising a son who drowned in his own secrets at 17. Found him in the garage, hose from the tailpipe. Notes said he couldn't pretend anymore. Lucas's voice cracked like dry earth, but he swallowed it down with black coffee. Been haunting these roads ever since, picking up strays. Figure it's my penance. Or my prayer. Liam stared at his plate, the food turning leaden. I'm sorry, man. That's... fuck. No poetry for that kind of grief. But in Lucas's gaze, he saw a mirror, not of pity, but recognition. A man who'd lost a son, staring at a boy who'd lost a father. They talked till the diner dimmed its lights, Liam's walls crumbling brick by brick. Lucas offered a couch in his trailer outside Tucson, temporary, no strings. Ain't charity. Just a dry spot from the storm. The trailer was a time capsule. Faded American flags, shelves of dog-eared paperbacks, Steinbeck, Hemingway, a worn Bible with pages dog-eared at Psalms, and a fridge stocked with Bud Light and leftovers from the auto shop where Lucas wrenched on trucks. Liam crashed on the lumpy sofa, the hum of the desert AC lulling him into sleep, haunted by Papa's face morphing into his mother's forgiving smile. Morning brought coffee strong as regret and a job lead. Busboy at a queer-friendly bar in South Tucson, El Corazon, where the crowd was a mosaic of brown and white, glitter and grit. Weeks blurred into a rhythm. Liam hustled shifts, pocketing tips that smelled like possibility, crashing at Lucas's after closing, the two of them sharing silent suppers of canned chili and stories swapped like trading cards. Lucas taught him to change oil, fix a carburetor, the grease under nails a baptism into manhood untainted by shame. Ain't about who you love, son, Lucas grunted one evening, wiping his hands on a rag. It's about how you stand up after they try to break you. Liam nodded, throat tight, the word son landing like rain on parched soil. But freedom had teeth. At El Corazon, eyes lingered, hungry, hopeful. First was Diego, a tattooed bartender with a smirk that could melt barbed wire, pulling Liam into shadowed corners for kisses that tasted like lime and lust. "You're fresh meat, Mijo," Diego whispered, hands roaming bold. It was electric, a rebellion against the boy who'd hidden in Tijuana alleys, but shallow too, like tequila shots chasing numbness. Then came the whispers, ice raids tightening, whispers of deportation sweeps. Liam pushed it down, focusing on the swell of his savings jar. Dreams of community college. A life where gay was just a fact, not a felony. One sticky July night, the bar pulsed with reggaeton and rainbow flags, the air thick with sweat and secrets. Liam wiped down tables, catching sight of a new face across the room. Javier, lean and intense, with eyes like polished obsidian and a faded scar across his cheek from some border skirmish. He bought Liam a drink, whiskey neat, no chaser, and they talked. Javier's laugh a low rumble that vibrated through Liam's chest. "Crossed 6 months back," Javier confessed over the din. "Lost my hermano to the cartels. Thought America was the cure." His hand brushed Liam's under the table, a spark that ignited something deeper than Diego's fire. Tenderness, maybe, or the lie of home. They tumbled into each other after last call. Javier's apartment a cramped walk-up reeking of incense and instant ramen. Skin on skin, urgent and raw. Javier's whispers in Spanish. "Iris mío, Liam, no more running," sealing promises in the dark. For the first time, Liam felt seen, not as a stray but a survivor. Mornings brought lazy coffees, Javier sketching Liam's portrait with charcoal fingers. Dreams murmured of opening a food truck together, fusing Tijuana street tacos with Tucson heat. Lucas noticed the glow, ribbing him gently over breakfast. "Boys got you mooning like a damn teenager. Treat him right, or I'll kick your ass myself." But shadows crept. Javier's past wasn't buried. It clawed back. One August dawn, Liam woke to sirens, Javier's side of the bed cold. A note on the pillow. "They found me. Cartel business. Run, amor. Don't look back." Heart in his throat, Liam bolted to Lucas's, pounding the door till the older man yanked it open, shotgun in hand from habit. "What the hell, kid?" But one look at Liam's face, and the weapon clattered down. Liam collapsed into those arms, strong, unyielding, sobbing the story in gasps. Lucas held him. No words, just the steady rock of a man who'd cradled ghosts before. Word spread fast in the underbelly. Javier had skimmed from the wrong crew back home, the border his escape route, but debts followed like vultures. ICE picked him up on a routine check, but it was the federals' tip-off that sealed it. Deportation with a side of cartel justice waiting south. Liam drowned in guilt, replaying every touch, every "I love you" whispered too soon. "He betrayed me," he spat to Lucas one night, nursing a beer on the trailer porch, stars indifferent overhead. "Promised forever, then ghosted like I was nothing." Lucas lit a cigarette, the cherry glowing like a tiny accusation. "Ain't betrayal if fear's the knife. Man's haunted, same as you. Same as me." He exhaled smoke rings, ghosts of his own. My boy Tommy, he had a love like that. Sneak-in notes, stolen nights. But the world, it don't forgive easy. The vulnerability cracked Lucas open, revealing fissures. The wife who'd left after Tommy's suicide, blaming his softness. The VA shrinks who'd labeled him unresolved trauma. The endless roads driven to outrun the what-ifs. Liam listened, the roles reversing, son become confessor, as Lucas admitted, I pushed him away once. Called him weak for crying. If I just held on, that confession bonded them tighter, a pact forged in firelight and father-son silences. Liam threw himself into work, saving for a lawyer to fight Javier's case, but appeals bounced like bad checks. Protests erupted in Tucson, queer migrants marching with signs reading, "No human is illegal," chants echoing Liam's rage. He joined them, Lucas at his side, the older man's presence a shield against the jeers from counter-protesters waving MAGA hats like talismans. Autumn winds carried change. Liam enrolled in night classes at Pima Community College. Algebra and English comp a bridge to the future. Lucas fixed up an old Chevy for him, sky blue like forgotten oceans, dubbing it La Libertad. Evenings, they'd grill carne asada on a rusty Weber, Lucas spinning yarns of Nam foxholes and diner philosophies, Liam countering with tales of Tijuana fiestas and Marco's ghost. You're more dad than he ever was, Liam said one night, voice thick, and Lucas just clapped his shoulder, eyes misty. Nah, kid. We're just two fools finned in our way. But climax brewed in the border's undercurrents. November frost bit the air when the call came. Javier, shipped back to Mexico, vanished into cartel hands. A smuggled letter reached El Corazon via a mutual, scrawled in blood-flecked ink, "Forgive me. You were my light. Live free." Liam shattered, trashing his room, screams tearing through the trailer park till Lucas pinned him down. Not in anger but anchor. Breathe, son. He chose his fight. You choose yours. The betrayal stung deepest, not Javier's flight, but the lie of safety America peddled. Protests turned riotous. Liam dodged tear gas in the streets, Lucas pulling him from the fray with a father's ferocity. Enough, the older man growled later, bandaging a gash on Liam's brow. You're better than their hate. And mine. In that moment, under fluorescent kitchen light, truths erupted. Lucas confessed the full weight. Tommy wasn't just any boy, he'd been gay, hidden like a family shame, and Lucas's silence, his tough love, the noose's accomplice. I failed him. Swore I'd never again. Tears carved tracks down weathered cheeks, and Liam pulled him into a hug, fierce and forgiving. You saved me. That's redemption, Lucas. That's dad shit. Winter thawed into fragile spring, wounds scabbing over. Liam graduated with an associate's, the stage lights hot on his cap and gown frame, Lucas in the front row hollering like a proud papa. Diego faded to memory. A new spark flickered at school, a quiet artist named Alex, with freckles and a laugh like wind chimes, but Liam moved slow, savoring the build. The trailer became home, not haven. Shared holidays with Lucas's VA buddies, a Christmas tree strung with mismatched ornaments, tamales steaming beside turkey. One dawn, as monsoon rains lashed the windows, Liam traced the faded tattoo on Lucas's forearm, a marine eagle clutching a rainbow flag, inked post Tommy. When? He asked softly. Lucas shrugged, sheepish. After. Figured if I couldn't save him, I'd honor him. Colors and all, they sat in silence. Rain a requiem, Until Liam broke it. You're my real dad. You know that? Blood or not. Lucas's hand found his rough palm to calloused one. And you're the son I got a second shot at. Don't waste it runnin'. Build. The story didn't end in fireworks. America's edges were too jagged for that. Raids persisted. Borders breathed hate. But Liam built. A food truck with Alex's murals splashed across the side. Tacos del Corazon, serving fusion bites to lines of dreamers and locals alike. Lucas manned the grill, barking orders with gruff affection. His trailer now a guest room for strays Liam ferried in. Kids fresh off the wire, eyes wide with exodus. Years later, on a desert ridge much like the one that birthed him, Liam stood with Lucas, backs to the fence, watching the sun bleed gold over Tucson. A letter from Tijuana had arrived months prior. Papa, dying of liver rot. Words scrawled shaky. Forgive an old fool. Come home if you can. Liam burned it, ashes scattering like old skins. This is home, he said, arm linked with Lucas's, Alex's hand warm in his other. The stranger who'd become father nodded, the wind carrying their quiet laughter, a hymn to the rejected, the reborn. In the end, family wasn't borders or bloodlines. It was the hands that caught you mid-fall, the voices that named you whole. Liam had crossed into America chasing ghosts, but found flesh and bone grace in a man who'd lost his way too. And in that finding, they both came out, alive, unbroken, loved.